Alright, in our active reading step, we flagged these two questions as a pair, which gives us a great opportunity to practice a powerful strategy for approaching inference questions on challenging passages. When an evidence question follows an inference question, we can use the answer choice options in the evidence question to find the answer for the previous one. So here's the strategy. If the first question is hard, use the second question for an assist. So first, rephrase question 1 in your own words, and then test each choice from question 2 with your version of question 1. So if one of the choices from question 2 answers question 1, you can look for a matching choice in question 1. So let's put that into action and rephrase the first question. It can be reasonably inferred from the passage that Burke is particularly upset with the National Assembly's decision to blank. Okay, so why is Burke upset with the National Assembly? What did it do that makes Burke mad? What's Burke's problem? Now let's check out the choices from the second question and see if any of these give us a good idea of what Burke's problem is. I'm going to make the passage visible, and then I'm going to start going through these. Okay, so lines 5 through 10, but to assembly. But to form a free government that is to temper together these opposite elements of liberty and restraint in one consistent work requires much thought, deep reflection, a sagacious, powerful, and combining mind. This I do not find in those who take the lead in the National Assembly. Okay, so what's Burke saying here? He's saying you've got to be smart to create a free government, and then he says he doesn't think the National Assembly is smart. So Burke's complaint here is really just an insult. He thinks the National Assembly is dumb. Does that match any of the choices in question 1? I don't think so, but let's see. Limit the king's power, not the same as being dumb. Expand the size of the government, not the same. Seek the approval of the public, no. Ignore the advice of former leaders, no. So all the choices in question 33 are about specific policy decisions, which these lines don't get into, so I'm going to knock this out. Okay, lines 10 to 13, perhaps to understanding. Perhaps they are not so miserably deficient as they appear. I rather believe it. It will put them below the common level of human understanding. Okay, so does this tell us what Burke is upset about? Not really, it's just more insults like the quotation in choice A. He's just saying they can't possibly be as bad as they seem. It's not specific. So we can cross that one off too. Choice C, lines 13 to 18, but to people. But when the leaders choose to make themselves bidders at an auction of popularity, their talents in the construction of the state will be of no service. They will become flatterers instead of legislators, the instruments, not the guides of the people. Now, is this something that Burke is upset about? Yes. He's saying he really thinks it's bad when leaders turn leadership into a popularity contest. It mentions the risk of becoming flatterers, not legislators, telling the people what they want to hear instead of being thoughtful or responsible lawmakers. So let's see if there's a match in question 1. Limit the king's power? No. Expand the size of the government? No. Seek the approval of the public? Bingo! That's what I just said. Choice C matches this exactly. On test day, I would choose these two answers, C, and move on. But for the sake of completeness, let's look at choice D. Okay, so lines 49 to 51. The improvements to fundamental. Here we are. The improvements of the National Assembly are superficial, their errors fundamental. Okay, this is harsh criticism, for sure, but just like the quotations in choices A and B, this doesn't give us anything specific. And that's really what the first decision is asking for, a decision that Burke is particularly upset about. And if I wasn't sure I was ready to cross this one off, I would look at the choices at question 1 and see if there's a match for fundamental errors. So let's go back to question 1. Limit the king's power? No. Expand the size of the government? No. Seek the approval of the public? No. And ignore the advice of former leaders. None of these match that quotation for choice D. So now I feel even better about choice C for both questions. This strategy takes some practice, but it can really come through for you on test day. The key is to lock the first question in your mind in a simplified, rephrased way and apply that question to the choices in the second question. We urge you to actually write down your version so you don't lose track of it while you're considering the options. Good luck out there. You've got this.